I got a question for you. What makes a good football official? Yep. Got to know the rules. Absolutely. Yep. Got to be in good shape. 3.5 hours of running up and down that field, that'll wear you out. What else? Absolutely. You better have a love of the game. Because if you don't have a love of the game, you don't need to be out there. You don't want to be out there. They will kill you. But what separates the great official from the good official? I have officiated more games than I care to admit to. I'm still alive to talk about it. It's been close a time or two, but I'm still alive. But it comes down to one thing. The one thing that separates the great official from the good official. One thing. Very simply, street smarts. Street smarts. Your ability to get yourself out of a jam. We were in our dressing room one night, having our pregame planning and review meeting. And we get down to the point where we're discussing the coaches that we're going to be working for that particular night. Well, this one coach, he has a reputation for working the officials. Well, David, he raises his hand and says, I'll take him. I'll work his sideline. No problem. Well, David is the youngest official on the crew that night, not only by age, but by experience. So I get this look over the top of my glasses, and I said, David, young man, you got about 15 seconds to convince me that you can handle this coach. Well, David looks at me and he says, you know Mike Smith, the high school principal? And I says, yeah, I know him. What about it? What's that got to do with anything? He said, that's my point. When I was a senior in high school, I worked in the cafeteria. And one day the phone rang. And I just picked it up and said, cafeteria. And the voice on the other end of the line says, what's for lunch today? He says, I wasn't thinking. I just said that the students get hamburgers, the teachers get pork chops, and old Mr. Fatty, the principal, gets a steak. And then I hear all the voice coming back at me, and he says, young man, you know who you're talking to? And again, I'm not thinking. I just said, no, who? And then I hear him say, you're talking to Mr. Smith, the principal. Oh my gosh, he says, I have screwed up. I am dead. I am history. I no longer exist. Thought for a second, and then I had an idea. Mr. Smith, sir, do you know who you're talking to? To which he says, as a matter of fact, no I don't. To which I very quickly and immediately responded, so long, Fatty. Click. Hung the phone up, did a disappearing act, and I was out of there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, David can work on my crew anytime, any place, anywhere. With that kind of thinking and that kind of street smarts, he can get us out of any jam we get ourselves into on that field, and he is going to be a great football official sooner than later.